welcome to our show, Tich. We're very glad to have you in here, African Canadian Voice, ACV, and we're very thankful that you took time out of your busy schedule and you wanted to talk to us about your culture. We really appreciate that. And just let me go straight to our conversation. Tell us about yourself, starting from your childhood, how you happen to be a multi-talented musician.
Well, thank you very much, Tess. And first of all, I just want to thank you for having me on your program, and thank your viewers, listeners for tuning in. So, Tich Maredza, I'll start by introducing myself. My full name is Tichaona Maredza. Tichaona means we shall see in my language.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but in music circles, I normally just go with the short form for that, which is Tich, like as in teacher, Tich Maredza. So Tich is the short form for my name. So I'm an artist who is now living and working in Toronto, Ontario, but I come from Zimbabwe. That's where I was born, and that's where my heritage is. Zimbabwe is a small country of about 14 million people, 14.6 million people in Southern Africa. So if you know your maps very, very well, we're neighboring countries like South Africa, Mozambique, and Botswana in that area. That's so that's where I am from. So yeah, I'm a musician who plays music that is a fusion of traditional and contemporary music of Zimbabwe, but the music is mostly based on traditional styles like of Zimbabwean music, but fused with other styles of music that I've experienced in my journey in working with musicians from other parts of Africa, other parts of the world. So I play traditional instruments. I play an instrument called mbira, which is M-B-R-A. If you don't mind, I will show you how the instrument looks like. So this instrument here, this instrument has been a part of my culture for hundreds and hundreds of years. There is different types of this instrument. This is just one type called nyunga nyunga. It has 15 keys, but you can have these like different kinds. You can have some with 24, some with 32 of these metal pieces here.
Yeah.
So
can you play a little bit to have the sound of it?
Okay, so I play using you play using your thumbs and your fingers like this. So I'm just gonna play quickly for you as.
Wow, that sounds excellent. Right?
Yeah,
that's excellent.
Yeah.
Is this like is this the main cultural instrument in Zimbabwe, or is it part of?
Yeah, so this is the main cultural instrument, but there is also other. This is the most popular one, but there are also other instruments. We have marimba too. Marimbas. I know that there are other parts of the world that have marimbas as an instrument, but there is a Zimbabwean style marimba that we have, and then we also have shakers. Let me show you again. These shakers. I know that djembes are the most common, like hand drum in Africa, but there's different types of hand drums. In Zimbabwe, we have a hand drum which is not necessarily shaped like the hand drum. Our hand drums are normally just they have a straight round body, as opposed to the djembe, which is pyramid shape, like if you or an hourglass shape of yeah. So I play those. Then when it comes to Western instruments, I also play guitar. I'm a guitarist. I play acoustic guitar. I play a little bit of bass and some keyboards too. So that's I compose and play my music using all of those instruments.
Let's take a break for now, and we'll be talking to it later. So many skills within the music area. Tell us a little bit, how did you become a musician? What was the reason? Was it in the background in the family, or special exposure, or how did you become that kind of?
Okay, so what happened is, you know, in Zimbabwe, like when what I found out is in most African cultures is it's something that you are born with. That's part of your family. That's part of your culture. However, in my family, my mother's side, that's where the music side of me really came from, because most, if not all, of my uncles, like my mother's side, were at one point or the other musicians in their lives. Though some of them are no longer active musicians, yeah, but at one point or the other they were involved in music. So I grew up with people who were musical in the family. Although, like most of them, I was exposed to a lot of Western music because they were playing in bands that used to play, Western cover songs and stuff like that. But however, I used to get opportunities also to go to visit my grandma's rural home, or our rural home for my dad's side. I would get exposed to traditional music there, which was mostly based on hand drums. So that's when I would get exposed to that. And I also grew up. I grew up in the city, but we had a neighbor who was a great mbira player. So they used to play mbira all the time. So I would go and watch them play with his friends. So I grew up exposed to traditional music. That's how my passion for music was. That's how it grew. And then when I started going to school now, I got incorporated into, school traditional dance ensembles as a drama, and then eventually I got involved in the school marimba bands. So I pretty much started performing professionally at primary school level, because our school band would be engaged to go and perform at other special events and stuff like that. So that's really how my musical journey started. So I started playing music at a very, very young age.
So you started early on, that's why you were able to accumulate all these different musical talents and tastes. And when you are working in the music area now, how do you see that it's coming into the fore when you are playing contemporary music?
When I'm working in music now, it's just that, especially this year, things have been very different, because of the pandemic situation that we are facing. But other than that, it has been great, like having opportunities to play in different places, like different festivals, and also meeting, because since moving to Canada, I've had opportunities to work with musicians from other parts of Africa too. and other parts of the world, which has exposed me to a whole lot of learning musically as well and growing as a musician. So to me, it's been quite an exciting journey because I've had to learn music from other cultures, working with others, and that has helped me to improve my art. But I'm glad that I've also had the opportunity to showcase my culture uh, through music. So it's been great. Yeah, music has its ups and downs.
Yeah. So, how do you explain the transition? You were multi-versatile player in your country, and when you come over here, I mean, there is quite a bit of transition. And how is the transition to playing with other African musicians or in a different setting? How was the transition? How was it?
For a musician like me, I think any other musician or any artist who is passionate about what they do, you will realize that a transition in music is one of the easiest things like you can go through because there's this. I mean, I know it sounds more like a cliche, but there's this saying that music is a universal language. So as long as you understand each other musically, it's quite easy to get together and to work together. You might have different musical influences or different approaches to how you create music, because of your culture. But at the end of the day, you can you'll be able to find common ground where you can work together. So that transition was not a challenge to me. I mean, it had its challenges, but it was a positive challenge. Because I had to learn to work with other musicians from other parts and understand how they play their music, and if I wanted to fit in with my music, how we can make that work. So, like I said earlier on, it's kind of the kind of transition that helped me to grow musically as well.
We'll be continuing this conversation with Tich. For now, we're going to take a break. Back from break, and we'll be continuing talking to Tich. Playing in here also, I mean, now you're seeing your culture from far, right? You're in Canada, and then you're seeing also the Zimbabwe culture from far. How did you find it when you are out of Zimbabwe and here playing and see your culture from Canada? Did it change, or did it give it depth, or did it give it more appreciation? How was it?
Well, in terms of what has happened really is that, of course, things are never going to be the same in the sense that when I'm living in Canada, I'm no longer living in the Zimbabwean or African setting where like everyone around me is probably understands my culture and they're from my culture, right? So I can be the only one who practices my culture here, but my neighbor or my housemate is probably from a different culture. So in that same sense, it's different, right? But there's also another aspect that has gotten people to appreciate my culture, because this has given me an opportunity to showcase my culture, like I was saying, and other people get to appreciate, because there's some people who come from parts of the countries where they don't have these kinds of instruments, and they're not even familiar with this kind of music, and when they hear it, they really get fascinated and they want to learn about the culture. And for the most part, it's been people who appreciate, the music and even the language, the way we sing and stuff like that. So people want to get to know more. So in that regard, it's been great to know that people here appreciate, my culture. And I've also done the same, because I've been exposed to other cultures that I didn't know, existed growing up in Africa. So I would hear certain kinds of music that that are quite interesting, and you want to learn and to even sometimes you even want to learn one or two words from their language and understand what they mean, and so.
Yeah, and I know also you work with so many African musicians, and could you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, so I work. I'm part of a collection of a group called Okavango African Orchestra, which is a group made up of musicians from different regions of Africa who came together to compose and perform music that's based on their traditional styles of music. So the music that we play in Okavango, although we have some guitars here and there, is mostly based on the traditional rhythms of our countries. So, for example, we have musicians from Eritrea who plays their traditional instrument called the kra. And then we have someone from Senegal who plays their traditional instrument, which is called the kora. And we have musicians from Ghana. And we used to have a musician who's now late, may he so rest in peace, from Somalia. They used to play also a traditional instrument from Somalia. So, and we have another musician who is the producer of the project, is from Burundi. He also brings some influences from Burundian music. So this is a collective that has been producing some really great music in Toronto. Initially, it was set up just to do a few performances. Then when those performances were done, people liked the performances, and then they encouraged the group to record some music. So we were asked to compose music, and we recorded. And our first album won a Juno, which I don't know if you can see it. So we won a Juno award for our world music album of the year in 2017. And we were nominated again in 2020 for our second album. So the group produced some really great music that is, and in that group, what I was saying, the exciting thing was when we got together, we had to learn how each other's instruments can work with each other, because these are instruments that probably had never worked together before, right? Mm-hmm. So we spent some time figuring out how to make our instruments work with each other without necessarily losing the main style of music. Yeah. So, for example, if I on my songs, because I contributed some original songs that were based on my culture there, using this instrument, the mbira, then we have to work with someone who plays the kora, someone who plays the kra, on how those instruments can fit in my songs, whilst maintaining the main style, which is my style of music. So we did that with each and every one styles. So it was putting that group together was a very interesting process.
So I saw some of the performance you did, and like you said, you might have your main instrument from your country, and the other countries also do come and give it a lot of meaning without losing its originality. And I saw that, and it was quite a feat, quite an achievement. Like you said, you started it for a few records, but it seems like you're going to continue it by the way. You all like it. And let's take a break for now, and we'll be talking to Tich later. I hope you enjoyed listening to what Tich has to tell us about his musical background. We'll be continuing this conversation on the next episode. Until then, get well.